Hi everyone. If you are on MP3604, you'll be very used to these videos by now. This is a video which I have been meaning to actually fill in the blanks for about a year or two. I was asked about this in a previous year's class and totally slipped my mind. So I thought now is a great time to get it on. And let me just give you a quick overview as to which notes these are that we're going to be discussing. This is what's been nicknamed, and I say nicknamed because it's not a real. This is just what we nicknamed the aeroboat. These notes originated from a very old member of staff who was actually my lecturer, and I always found these notes a little eye-opening, mind-boggling in some elements, and really insightful as far as doing CAD and really understanding the overall of what a surface model is and how its overall skeletal structure is assembled. So what I really wanted to do is to do this one in these notes in particular quite justice. Don't get me wrong, to look at them, they do seem quite dull. But it's just so you're aware of the notes that I am following and using is the working with surfaces and guide curves. Sketches and guide curves, apologies. So what we're going to do first is let's just hit the ground running. We're going to go into a part. As ever, let's freeze and wait a while for it to emerge. You'll notice that I've actually got a video feed on here as well. Somebody told me it can be quite nice to just have somebody on there too, so that's why I put this on here. Okay, so what we're going to do is create 7 planes. And what I like to do with planes is like them to be overall controllers. Let's say we've got a variation. Let's say with between a plane, we don't want we want a distance of 35 millimeters, 10 millimeters. That changes. Beauty is with having a plane and having the plane constricted to the drawings and having everything else simultaneously linked. Change the plane, change the part, change the overall diameter and structure of the part itself. It gives you so much control as to what the model is doing. So it's fab. It's so good for what we need it to do. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to come. I'm going to stay with my notes as well because I'm often quite murder for doing this. So front plane. Now, rather than building from the front plane, I'm actually going to introduce a plane which is, if you will, uh, replacing that. This is purely because I like my overall plane structures to be there, and I don't want them changing. It's a pain in the backside, so I don't want them changing. So I'm just going to keep that the same. First things first, I'm going to go 0. Right. So everything now is from plane 1. So let's go again. Plane, reference geometry. And we're going to go plane. I will go relatively quick here. It's just because the beauty is with a video, you can hit pause. So we've got plane. This is now moving into plane 2, and the reference is coming from plane 1. Oh, that went horribly wrong. Let's do that again. Plane 1 into there, and we're going to go 40 millimeters from the offset, and then flip the offset to the direction. So my plane is here. I'm going backwards to its relative position. Plane 2 is in position, coming back to plane 1. Going to right, and I do know. I'm pretty sure that those of you who are quite accustomed to CAD systems, you'll know that there is a shortcut. I like to stay very specific because anybody who doesn't know that shortcuts can be learned. But if you do it the long way around, everybody knows how to construct it. So again, just fast forward this section if you're well aware of how to do this. So my distance from the plane to plane 3 is 80 millimeters. Recreate that process again. Can I? There is a recent command there if you want to know where the shortcut is. But again, I'm going old school, which I hate saying old school, but yeah, going old school. So 160, flip that direction, flip that direction. So flipping that direction onto plane 4 to go 160. Let's do it again. Onto here and onto here. Let's flip that across again. And what we're going to do now is we're on to plane 4, so it's no longer 160. This is 240. And again, I mean, I'll probably, yeah, if yeah, do fast forward this if you're more than comfortable with it. So again, flipping that across, clicking OK, and that puts me to 320. And then for my final one, which will take me to plane 7, should take me to 400. All units in this case are in millimeters. So, oh, look at that. Mistake. This happens, and it happens to us all, evidently. I actually didn't mean to do that. You can right click, go to edit feature, and there, boom. Let's flip that bad boy over. There we go. And then go zoom to fit. Now, we have our overall operational area. We are now ready for action. Quite exciting. And moving on to it. Now, I'm laughing because let me just bring this drawing across. This is the drawing that's annoyed so many students over the years, and they're just going, it's fun. I'm just going to do what I want to. Don't do that. Don't do that. So what I'm going to do is take you through this. Now, my lecturer, legend, absolute legend, always said to us, sometimes you're never going to have all the dimensions that you need. So sometimes just focus on getting what you can from the drawings, getting what you can to make it work, and then fleshing out what you can. Right. So I'm going to come from the right plane, and we're going to go sketch. If anybody's wanting to know the shortcut for that, by the way, Control and 8 will take you a normal to view. When you're into the sketch, it should flip you over anyway because I had the right plane selected. So this drawing itself is the amazing 3-point arc. And are you ready for this? A line, which is horizontal. I know, it's crazy the level of sophistication that we're doing in this session. So first things first. Again, I'm just relying on that notes. So let me just give you a quick flash. Yeah, it's easy notes. So we have very little here, but it's easily done. So now, if you will have noticed on, look, I can't stop it, can't help it. So if you look on the notes here, look how that 400 is grey. I put that 400 on there because I wanted you guys to know that it's that length. It is the overall length to the plane, but the reason it's grey is because the plane is saying, I'm in control. So grey means you can't control it. So really, that dimension that you see on the drawing is pointless. But I did it just so you guys knew. So I'm going to press Control, keep my finger on Control. I'm going to select the point of my horizontal line. I'm going to select the plane 7, coincident. Bring that right back. So we've now got it back. I'm going to go Control and 8. This is cool. We're now locked to the plane 7 itself. Next thing that's on that drawing is it has a tangent relationship between the 3-point arc and the line. I'm going to press Control, select my 3-point arc, select the line, tangent. So now what we've got is we're actually almost there. So the amount of times people have got annoyed with this drawing, and you look and go, really? Really? People have got annoyed with this drawing. Yes, they have, very much so. But obviously not in these notes, because you guys are going to walk away and go, I've got this in the bag. So I'm going to go 20. Right, snaps it up. Now, if you look to the left, if I bring this in a little bit, you look here, and what we've got here is we've got that all important 3-point arc snapping in beautifully to a tangential horizontal line. So we've now got that flow of a profile. The next thing is simply radius of 300. And if I bring this back, you look. Ladies and gentlemen, stab it with a fork. It is done. That's the first sketch. Now, I'm a real stickler with this, and it's not really on the notes. I didn't see the point of putting it on the notes, but I like to do this. I'm going to name the sketch. So I'm going to call this, let's call it main body profile. Main body. Lower profile, because we're going to have an upper one in a moment. Fab. Okay. So now what we do is, now this one, This one, I did do this to be difficult, to be a pain in the backside, to be one of them people where you go, what a douchebag. So I'm going to hide this for a moment. And I'm going to pop the sketch across so you can see it. And it's that one. All I'm saying here that the restriction is to the 3-point arc to the back end of the profile here. That's all that's really there. And I think, yeah, that's all that's really there. It is just that particular one. Now, I can't remember whether I think what I'm going to perhaps do is bring that line to be in line with my 400. I like it to have that control piece in it. Doesn't need to be, but I like it to be there. So I'm going to change that a little bit myself, just because I prefer it. So I've gone top plane. I'm going to control an 8, snap that up. So we're now looking straight down. This now is the same profile as what you're seeing in the notes itself. So let's bring this in. Now, this here is simply a spline. That's it, single spline. And I'm just reminding myself, let's have a look. So I know loads of people are like, yeah, let's make it a style spline, be really cool. For this, please don't do that. You're gonna make your life so much more difficult. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, and 3. And that's it. So next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a bit of a dimension from here to there. And we're going to make that 86. 86. Okay. Now, this is now becoming my my lead profile, in lack of better words. So what I'll do here is I'm just going to turn that back on. I like these all to be connected. Doesn't have to be, but I like that idea that everything's there. It's all within its same control unit, and it stops for all these handlers all over the place. So I'm just going to make mine a little bit more. Oh yeah, check that out. You know that bullet look. I've left this like this because I wanted you guys to kind of look and go, yeah, I'm going to make mine like this, make mine like that. And what we're getting now is we're getting that mixture of I mean it's far from an actual industry example, but getting that mixture of industry coming in saying, right, we've got this dimension has to be met, but these dimensions play with, let's see what you can get with that. So this is less of a highly controlled component which is FEA driven or CFD driven. This is more conceptual design for aesthetics. Is it pretty? And I suppose in many cases you could argue to the other sides as well. Anyway, so I'm going to confirm that. This now is going to be my main body side profile. And I'm just doing this just because I'm just really, I'm really awkward when it comes to stuff like that. I just like these types of things. I think it makes things look really cool. Anyway, right. So let's just pop this back. What we see here is, in fact, I've just looked on the notes. Endpoint should be constrained to plane 7. Yeah, I knew I was being awkward. It doesn't have to be, but I do like it to be. Anyway, so I'm going to come on to this plane here as well. Bring all these in. Now, this one's tricky, and a student said it to me. What the hell? Where the hell? So, I get that. So this is one of actually the main reasons why I wanted to do this this drawing. So I'm going to come from my right plane. This point now, we're coming from the upper side. Let's go Control and 8. Flip it over. So we can see what we've got now here. Now in the drawing itself, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points within our spline. So I'm going to bring that in. Snap to you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I know a few things. I know that this point to this point needs to be constrained. I know that this point to this point, whoops, not that. I know that this point to this point needs to be measured to 10 millimeters. Right, so let's have some fun with this. So your profile you're headed for is something like this. You don't have to do it though. I think I'd like to though. I do quite like that profile. So I'm going to bring that down a little bit. So first things first, you'll see how the style spline now has been activated. Not really what I wanted, but what I'll do is use this to my advantage because I can. Let's bring up to here. Style that over there like that. I don't know. You know when you look and go, yeah, it's ended up looking like a, is it beluga whale? Yeah, not exactly what I was looking for, but what's a good one in this case is I can now just fashion the overall component as I'm coming in. And you can see now with the upper profile of it, it's actually looking a little bit more slick. Again, though, if I just compare to my original notes, you look and go, it's not exactly what he's got there. But what I'm wanting to do, as I said, is I wanted to just introduce you to the idea of you've got part dimensions. Then the boss rolls in and says, right, you've got part dimensions, but we need an aesthetic flow between two particular points. What are you going to do? This now allows you to be in some level of constriction, but have a little bit of freedom to move around to present different options. It just gives you that confident decision in your the use of whatever it is that you wanted to do. So again, I'm just going to name my sketch. You don't have to. I just like to, and I think it's good. I don't know. It's like presentation. I think it's a good presentation for. I'm going to go. Hang on a second. Main body, upper profile. Fab. That's looking amazing. So I'll bring this back. These now are the key points that we need to get right. And this is what we're going to do from this point. Because this, once we get this curve complete, it gets, let's say, very easy. So I'm going to pop this up. And what I'll do is I will activate planes that I need as I'm going through. So I'm going to activate my front plane. Let's go into front, let's go into sketch, go onto point, onto my point, and then stop. Now from pressing control, I'll select my point, select any of your targets. These are all converging to this origin here, so don't worry. So I'll go to my target here and pierce. Now, I think we've already discussed this, but I like to be consistent just so if I want to change my video structure around. The idea of piercing. A coincident will create a relationship between two components, X, Y, Y, Z. And it will create a relationship where you'll get these overlapping. So it's great for volumetric modeling. It's fab for things like that. When we get onto a surface, what we've got is an ultimately thin area, and we need to try and capture as much constriction around one area as possible. So you want to try and get that third component in there. This is going to work 90% of the time. And then when it doesn't, you just fall to coincident, which is nothing wrong with that. But wherever possible, wherever you can, do try to get that piercing because it will just give you that overall structure a little bit. It'll give you a bit more control. The other thing is to keep in mind, though, is it sometimes it does not work in your favor, but we will discuss that going through. So we're pierced, and let's go. We could call that profile 1, and in this case, I'm probably going to leave it. So I'm just going to hide my. Whoa, that went wrong. I'm going to hide my front plane, go to second plane. And as I said, my old lecturer who showed us this, when he showed us this, we were like, are you absolutely kidding me? We had no idea that this was a thing. And our old lecturer Johnny was, yeah, he was one who was kind of like, yes, it's obvious. And fab tool is this. Right, so let's go sketch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a line, and I'm trying now to connect my upper and lower profile together. So let's bring that down. Then if I press control and I select the end point of the line, select my target, and I'm going to pierce, which is fine. We've just done that. Do the same again. Press Control, select my point, my target, and I'm going to pierce. This is now overall connected. Now, what I want to do is, let me just show you the sketch that I'm doing. Doing this one here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in the other sketches. So, I'll go with my 3-point arc first. So let's go U, and I'm just going to make it roughly there. Again, the thing that's going to really get under your skin is there's no dimensions here. We're creating, or if you will, the rib cage of our profile. But this is where you're now in the realms of, we have no dimension to this. Let's see what you can generate. This is great for doing things like the Eco Marathon car or Formula Student car, things like that, because you've got your body areas and then you've got a freedom to move around to a degree. You can't go too crazy, or else you can't make what you're looking for. So pierce. So to give you an idea of how we're looking, we're now snapped into profile here, looking fab. So what I'll do now is on the sketch itself, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 key points for our spline. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 4, and 5. I know you look at first and go, yeah, that's not right. And you're right, it's not right. Press Control. I'm going to press the end point of my spline, select my target, and I'm going to pierce. And I'm just going to go Control and 8 so I can look dead on. And you can see there where I went wrong when I brought that in. So if I bring this just across, again, this is such the great function of surfacing. If it doesn't fit, let's just modify it. What we've got now is, it almost looks like the Predator drawn head. But I didn't intend it to look like that, by the way. It's just ended up like that. So you'll see there that we've got this overall behavior across it. So let's confirm that. Hide that. And then I'm going to turn on plane 3. Now, this was the thing that none of us knew. Select sketch 6. Edit. You can do Control C, but copy. Plane 3. Right click. And paste. Now that's the exact same profile that we've just put on there. And now just needing connecting up here. This is one of them functions that we all looked and went, what, you can do that? And yeah, it's a fab tool, it really is. So if I just snap that in, okay, Control and 8. Whoops, that was the wrong button. Control and 8, because I already had something selected. So what I'd like to do here now is bring that out a little bit. I'm just, I don't have to be perfect to the profile, but I'd like it to be something similar. So it looks, so there's a good flow between it. See, a lot of people will introduce profiles here where they've calculated the profile that's coming out of it or whatever it is that they're doing. And you see there, it's just missing that bump, if you will, that bump. I want that bump. There we go. So let's bring that out. And again, copy. Paste. 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 And paste. So what I'll do here is just go U, and U. Hide. And all I'm simply going to do now is go here to here, pierce. Here to here, pierce. Here to here, oops. Here to here, pierce. So you see now what we've, the the guide curves that we've put onto this really do now control the overall thing of what we're wanting to do with what we've got. They're dictating how the rest of the part is going to be generated, which I quite like, because now we're in a. Let me just pull out. Apologies. Let me just pull that down a little bit. There we go. See, look now, and then let's turn you off. Let's hide that. Activate the next section. And what you'll see now is this: the rest of these notes are dropping out quite quick. It's not a big job. And you know what it's like. Anybody, if there's something that's not a big job, it means it's much easier. So I'll then come onto main point on my 3-point arc, and then pierce onto there, and then again we're here, this position. You'll see my belly of the boat itself is starting to slip a little bit. It's no big deal. These sections of these notes is just to really give you an idea of the control of this. So one thing that you guys will have an option with this year is you will be able to do sections of your project for assignment if you wish. However, in your assignment, you are going to be asked to just note that this is for your project so that you can't be marked twice. But these types of techniques will really help you if you're doing anything specific, especially people in Formula Student, doing that type of work for these things, or anybody that's doing any body fitting, so body panels or body work or body armor, anything along them lines works really well for this types of thing. Okay, so nearly there. Bring that in a little bit more. Seems like an awful lot of work for a little payoff, but trust me, it's once you actually see what this can do as far as a control method goes, it's excellent. So this is just because the body of what we were doing is now started to come down a little bit, and you'll see my point here that is coming up. So let's just bring that up. There, and then on my final sketch, and then it's time to snap them all together, which is exciting. So again, point, target, pierce, point, target, pierce, point, target, pierce. So it's the point of the sketch and where you want to take it to. I always say target just because it's where you'd like it to be. That's all. So it's the profile that you're if you will you're chasing. You're looking to connect to. That's all I'm referring to. Just so you're not confused. Right. So I'm just going to come to my planes. Just for a bit of extra organization, I'm going to put all of these reference planes into a folder. Is it really needed for this? Not really, but I added in there just in case anybody on who's watching this has never done this before. So I've selected them all, put them into a folder. I'll call these ref planes. And I could do this for the sketches as well. So I'll do, in fact, I'll leave that there because now this is the good bit. Let's now build it up. All my sketches are completed. So I'll go to here and show them. Then let's go surfaces. Then let's go, we're going to loft. And I'm going to go, first let's come from my first profile to a second profile. You must follow sequence. Do not try and, I've seen people who just wrap them and go, it doesn't work. You're damn right it doesn't work. So do follow sequence. And you'll see here the leaders, the green markers. If your leaders appear in a different spot, just pull them into place. Right, so let's go to the guide curves. So I'm going to go lower point, upper point. Apologies, side profile, sorry. And then upper profile. And then OK. And if you've done this right, which if you followed me, you've probably done this right. and then we spin that round, what you've now got is a fully formed surface profile, which is now consisting of all 7 profiles, each sketch. Now, just before I close these notes off, I'll show you an example. Let's say boss runs in and says, you know what, that position here is 2 millimeters out. And he goes, right, we need it to be 238 millimeters. Let's go 238. And we go, okay. Then what happens is, the trouble is you can't really see it. Then what happens is the profile is dragged and it's moved into position and it now meets each profile as it's been requested. So what you've got is a way of being able to control it. And this, if you will, the sketches almost become secondary because your essential conditions that you've set it up with allow you to do so much more. If you've not done already, please do make sure that you hit save. Save this. I don't actually remember what these notes were originally called, but somebody I was in the class with once nicknamed it the aeroboat, and he just stuck in my head, and I could never remember what the actual notes were called. So it ended up being emigrated to the aeroboat. But these notes for guide curves really do show you how much control that you have, and how much impact you can have with just making little implementations for control on it. Right, so that is the notes for this particular one. If you do have any issues, if there's any questions, do reach out. Drop me an email if you can find me in the corridors, or if you need to speak to me outside of session, do make sure you do. I'm more than happy to help. And when it comes to things like this, a great example of where this was done is the Eco Marathon car. I know the Eco Marathon car had this this method was used for it, and it worked really well, evidently, because the profile looks excellent. Other than that, if I don't speak to you sooner, have a great day, and I will speak to you all soon. Cheers, guys.